Hey, fun fans! Coming up on this week of FRC Round Up, we'll be taking a look at 1678, the Citrus Circuits, and their build season and progression to Margie, not Marge. A discussion on Swerve versus West Coast Drive, and will West Coast Drive be able to keep up with Swerve at the championship? And finally, a look at the continued unfortunate events that are that continued to happen this past weekend with the field gates closing, but specifically what happened at the Long Island Regional Number 2, and all of this and more coming up on season 1, episode 4 of FRC Roundup.
Your destination for first content, updates, and gaming.
Welcome to the fun.
First Updates Now, supported by Stryker Careers. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com.
Right, welcome to episode 4. If you have not caught our show previously, this is a new show that will be continuing to be following FRC Recap on Monday nights, and we'll take a look at the overall previous week and highlight some discussion points about events, strategy, or anything that may have correlated with the previous week. If you, the fun community, think that there is a topic that we should discuss on FRC Roundup, please feel free to ping me on the fun Discord, and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Nick Mathis, and I'm currently in the FIM region and was previously on Team 4130.
And I'm Connor McBride, mentor for Team 166 Chop Shop and game announcer in the New England District. Our guest tonight is Dave Powers from 1678 Citrus Circuits, who are on their second regional win from Sacramento this last weekend, along with a double gold Cling Bling Chairman's Award. And we're also the #1 ranked team in the FRC Top 25 Week 1.
Dave is a previous mentor.
Yeah. Dave is a previous mentor of 6328 Mechanical Advantage and an alumni from 228 Gus, a World's MC, and according to pictures posted from 2014 to 2018, has gone by the name Danger Dave. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's good to be on.
Yeah, no problem, Dave. Thanks again for coming on. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Our first topic tonight is going to be taking a look at the overall 1678 build season. I know that you guys did debut again on the fun premiere night. So, Dave, we'll kind of just hand it to you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. I figured it would be kind of cool. I was this build season. I was kind of in the still in the mindset of the Open Alliance documenting. So I was taking a lot of pictures, and I've kind of been waiting for an opportunity to share a little bit with the community, and we get approved to share some stuff with you guys. So we'll kind of just walk through all the pictures that you got through the course of kickoff all the way up to basically where we're at now. So I shared a bunch of pictures with Tyler, and he'll share them. And a cool thing to note is up in the right corner, it shows the date, so it'll actually give a kind of a good perspective and how quickly stuff's happening. Because I know there was a lot of questions about the 9 ball or the 5 ball and the 9 days and stuff like that. So kind of be cool to talk a little bit about it. So you can hit the pictures, Tyler, and we can just kind of walk through them. So this first one that we got up this was just after we did our first couple days worth of meetings. This was kind of towards the middle of the day on Sunday. This was after we got through the analysis of the game. Everybody took the game rules test. We talked a little bit about like what are all of the options that you could do on the field, and then you kind of synthesize it down to this is kind of the board of what Citrus was going to do this year. So you can see it is pretty in line with what we ended up with. There's some small things here or there, but everything else looks pretty good. I like the from day 2 we had the outtake either or both balls. So we were thinking originally it was out the front, but then the development of the pipper happened a little bit later. So you're gonna hit the next one. So this once we kind of got that, we really started jumping into prototyping. So you can see this is Monday, the next day. The kids had Monday off, I believe, right after kickoff. So we went straight into prototyping, and we basically just looked at a whole bunch of designs. The students just pulled up different designs that they could have from the past, and one of them was the 2013 the Poops Climber, right? Like that was the obvious thing that everybody was kind of trying to prototype off the gate. So if you go to the next one, it's a quick video of this prototype. We just took the 4414 clone robot, well, what was left of it, um, and just kind of put a piece of pivoting wood on it to try and simulate the motions. So you can hit the next one. Kind of just cook through these. And then I believe this is on Tuesday. So on Saturday midday, it came up that we were pretty confident we were going to do Swerve, and then Sunday it was nailed down. So we had been working with West Coast Products, so we had some of the new Swerve X modules in place. So we had the students just like throw together really quickly in CAD some tubes, frame, and everything. So we just plopped a couple of those together, and the Swerve module, the Swerve drive came together quick. And then from there, we started developing, like, you can keep going through. Um, we actually started looking a lot at 973's 2020 robot, because that was kind of going to be the thing right away that we were going to try and emulate. So you can hit the next one. These are just kind of some prototypes. You can see the chassis down. That's on Wednesday. That was the first shooter prototype. You can see that one was a little late. It was 9:15 at night, and all the kids standing in the corner. They're like, "What are you doing to me, Dave? Let me go." This was our first. Through our first week, the kids had cranked on a first revision of an intake, and that's getting plopped on that. Hit the next one. There's just I don't think it's a clip. You can keep going, and then from there, we started cooking on the first version of the climber. So on the alpha robot, even though we didn't show it in the 5-ball, there was actually that first like pivoting climber style deal. So the students had put together the CAD for that in a few days, and we started assembling it. And then you could see this is the alpha robot starting to come together around the end of week 1. You can keep cruising through those. And then this is the big thing. So over the course of that whole week, the students had just been really rapidly prototyping all of those different subassemblies. So you saw like the original prototype where we were just running the ball through. Pretty much from that, we knew it was going to work. We knew it was going to work from the past prototypes. So we just started cooking on something really basic. And the way that we do prototyping is like you want to keep everything super modular so you can continue iterating. So this robot was everything, all of the subsystems just plopped right on, went together really quick. And you can see that was the 16th. There's Ellie, very proud of the alpha robot. I think at that point, all of us were a little flabbergasted that we had something that could play the game. It was Brendan and Zach. Everybody all hyped up. And then that's when we started working on the what we thought was going to be the comp drive train. So that had the flipped SDS modules that we ended up using this year. Keep going. And then, so I think that was around the 16th. So there's a couple days in between here. And then we started hearing some murmurings and some stuff regarding the Brando climber, 125's crazy climb, right? There was a couple teams that were kind of cranking on it. So we just did, I think we built that prototype in like a day or two. And just pieced it together to check geometry and stuff. This is just another look at some different ones. So we realized after we built Alpha, we just wanted to kind of change the shooter. So it was going off the other side, but we wanted to maintain the wrap on the shooter. So we just made it a big curve. So it would be kind of like 2910 a couple of years ago. So you can see that's just a quick prototype. I think this is just the Alpha robot running around. So something I think is pretty crazy this year was we were able to essentially run driver practice from like day 9 with all of the different robots. The kids have like 75 hours on the robot. Helena and Yi have been like the most dedicated drive team that I have like ever worked with. You know what I mean? Like they're always begging to get more hours and review match footage and stuff like that. So we're always in there cranking on stuff. And then the 26, you can see that this is when the beta version, the second iteration of the robot, was going to come together. We weren't really sure if this was going to be the final revision of it, but this one included the pooper. that had come up from an actual, it was Vex Round Up, I believe was the game. Some of those robots had the pooper style thing, so we wanted to try and integrate it so you can keep clicking through. This is a couple days later. This was done, ready to put on the robot, and then you can see we just took it and stuck it on the Swerve on the 29th. And then I think the following day it was programmed and up and running. Yeah, and this was just a first swing at programming, and they really just wanted to try and get some time on it. Is it showing the video? I can't see it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so the big thing at this point is we're like 3 or 4 weeks um, into build season. We're kind of really honing in on what we think the robot's going to look like, and this whole time we're kind of really thinking what um, what is the like what exactly are we thinking the game is going to play, right? And I think it was really critical for us to get that driver practice as early as we did, because we could start thinking about, okay, this is how the game is actually going to get played, and this is how we're actually going to interact with the balls and stuff like that. um, so then you can see this is the alpha and beta robot together. And then once we got those together, we just immediately started cranking on what ended up becoming Epsilon. We found out with beta, it originally had a pneumatic hatch that let the pooper ball through. That was way too slow. So we started playing with some geometry with the star wheels, trying to get it, the balls to interact a little bit better. And then this is what everybody will recognize as the architecture of the next robot. So you can keep going. This is it. We were cranking on the 125 climb for a little while. This series of pictures is really fun. So this is February 3rd. It was a little late at night. Finally finished on it. You can go to the next picture. So this is the first. We were doing some testing on it. Right, crazy stuff. We were looking at it like, this looks like a nightmare. It just like, the typical stuff. Keep the kids out of it. It's just Mike and I trying to make it work. It just attacking Mike, and I think at this point you can see in the look in Mike's eyes, he's like, this isn't going to work. So you can go to the next photo. It promptly was thrown in the trash. Um, Shout out to Helena and Zach. They cranked on that first climber and they did an amazing job. They kind of knew that it was going to be like, you're trying something new, right? It was a mechanism that nobody had done before, so it was gonna really be tough. And they did a great job, and they took it like champs when we realized that we were going to need to kind of go in a different direction. There was a couple minutes where it was pretty difficult, but like, that's, you got to fail faster, right? You got to do it as quick as you can, figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, and then keep moving. Then you go to the next one. So that's the following day. So when we threw it in the trash, we pulled up the 5013 climb, and we all sat down as a team. We had a discussion. We were like, this seems like a good route. Let's build it. And then this is the first swing. I think Helena stayed up all night and just cranked on the CAD, and then the kids came in the morning and built it, and they put it all together. And then the next one is the picture of it on the robot, I think. And then so we threw it on the robot. That's the next day. And then we promptly so this was, I think, one of the first couple times that it hung. So those hooks on there, Mike bent them by hand. Mike's artisan hooks. He was debating starting a company. Oh no, you got to go back. You missed the best part. Show the last like 5 seconds of it. So it worked really well, and everybody was really proud of it. And then it promptly just fell right in the ground. But I think it was good enough. It was a good enough first swing at it. We were like, all right, this is gonna work.
Yeah, it showed promise.
Yeah, we were like, that's it. Let's keep cranking forward. So
Hey, shout out to those crash pads there.
oh yeah, the kids got really good with the crash pads. Like Karthik was poking fun at them on Chief Delphi, but those saved us a lot of superstructure members. And then this is just the students running driver practice with the beta robot. And as we're running driver practice, we're always analyzing what what's going to go wrong and what's not going to, what we're going to have issues with. You don't have to watch this whole video, but just more driver practice. So we run driver practice just like regular matches. you just go through the whole thing, and then you can keep going. At this whole time that we're running driver practice, we're then cranking on the CAD for the next version of it. And I don't think any of us really thought that we were going to end up with 4 versions of it, but we just really wanted to, crank as much as we could. So then this is what the competition robot looks like today. So this was Epsilon, which was the middle version between beta, and Margi, and I think the next one has both of them. So you can kind of see the progression of it. This was the first time it climbed. I think this is a good video too. You should let this one run. So yeah, it just immediately fell on the ground. So, it's an iterative process. We dropped, I think that a lot of people, they see the teams doing crazy climbs and everything. Like, I don't think I really want to emphasize how many times we dropped the robot. A
Right.
lot. It's just kind of part of it. And then I think that was a couple days later, we had the comp version of Margi. And then that's what we ended up playing with at Port and SAC.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Dave. So we do have a couple questions that we're going to jump into here from chat. Because I know we're going to try and speed up a little bit here. But
Yeah,
first
sorry,
question
that was a
from
big
no, don't be sorry. That's invaluable information that you're sharing right now with the majority of the community here. So, first question from Lasers. What I noticed, or they noticed on the whiteboard in the first picture that you guys had prioritize holding cargo while climbing. Just can you answer to why that was a priority on that board?
So those weren't in priority order, but it was on the board because the whole idea was on the way there you grab a couple of them, because we knew that there was going to be some teams that were going to um like stay out, not climb, and just shoot. Like, we thought that originally, like, the triple traverse kind of crazy, there's not a ton of room on there, so we'd probably just grab a couple balls and be able to go climb with them there. And that was just one of the original thoughts on it.
Okay, awesome. And then next one from the Dandelions. Is there a way that people could possibly reach out to you, or what's the best way to contact you if they had any questions?
Yeah, so we should probably put together a more formal line for it, but I'm always available. Um, Probably gonna regret saying this, but through Chief Delphi, you can send me a message. You can hit up any of the us through the website, and we're trying to get a more formal way for us to interact with the community. So I'll probably have to crunch on that a little bit with the mentors and the best way to go about doing it. But I mean, if you have any immediate questions you want to ask, like, I'm always available on Chief Delphi and trying to help anybody I can.
Awesome. And then one more question here from Nate, the GR8108. How did the programmers devise a 5-ball auto that quickly?
Yeah, so we pretty much, as soon as, I mean, the team's like, it's relatively large, right? So the programming team doesn't have a robot to program right off of the gate. So one of the initial things that we do is, with the strategy team, you start thinking about what are the different options that we can do in auto, so they can start thinking about mapping stuff out and maybe like initial robot design and stuff. So right from the beginning, they started laying out the 5-ball, and then we had prototype robots in there. Robots from, I think the first time we ran the path, it was on comp, or it was on Mark II, the Swerve iteration from last off season. And you just let them run the path for it, and then as you build it and you add more subsystems, it did not work the first time. You kind of go through the process of it, but it's really just trying to keep the programmers busy from the beginning. And like Apoorv and Yi and Emily are probably going to be mad at me for saying that, but they straight out of the gate, they start thinking about that stuff, and I think it makes a big difference because they're ready to go when they have a robot.
Okay, awesome. Connor, any last things to add before we jump to the next topic?
I think this was just insane that you went through this many iterations of a working robot. Like, even that first iteration could probably win a regional, depending upon where you are in the United States.
I'm hoping
I
it's going to go to
just
Madtown.
Yeah,
It's still
you should
together, so
you
maybe
should
it'll
just
go to
bring all
Madtown
of
if
them.
Mike wants us. Well, I can't divulge any of that, but maybe we'll see. We had 4
Okay,
last year. Maybe we can get some more.
alrighty. What I love is like how the design of the robot just kind of progressed from one to another. Like the whole ball path completely changed in different directions for where it started off as kind of like a straight shoot, and then going from the back to the front, and then back, and then to the backside, up and then out.
Mm.
Just the whole progression, because for me on a design standpoint, that's just absolutely wild to me that you guys can be able to pump stuff out like that in such a short amount of time. And
It all started with 2D sketches.
Yeah,
We do
like
as much as we can in CAD, and we probably did 8 different robot designs in CAD.
yeah,
Right.
it's
That's
just
awesome.
it's insane.
8 different 2D sketches in CAD, not full robots.
Yeah.
The kids are good. They're not that good. Yeah. Sorry, we can move
No,
on.
you're
That's
okay.
just like.
No, thanks. And again, really appreciate you taking the time to put that together and share that with us. But we do got to keep moving, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into topic 2 here, and this will be the shorter of the 3, so we're not gonna spend too much time on this one. But I wanted to take a look at the discussion of the Swerve, Swerve drive versus the West Coast drive and tank drive. Obviously we see multiple perennial powerhouses this year: 1678, 254, 3310, 148, just to name a few that are all running Swerve this year. And then we have the opposite side of looking at a lot of teams that are doing tank drive with turret, like 973 or 3538 from Michigan, and just kind of looking at it that way. And kind of as a group, we'll go around. But do we see the West Coast drive or tank drive being able to keep up with the mobility of the Swerve the championship? I know this is kind of foreshadowing a little bit, but at least in my opinion, I personally think that, and I'm gonna probably get some heat for this, but I think a well-driven tank drive and a turret is going to be just as good as a Swerve robot with or without a turret. But Connor, we'll kind of jump to you first and get your thoughts on that. But that's kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah, I kind of a little disagree with you. I think the most well driven West Coast drive, tank drive, however you want to call it, is probably 973 Greybots right now.
Yeah,
And I mean, you need to be at their level essentially to be competitive with some of these top dogs like 1690, 254, 1678.
oh, I didn't even mention 1690. Duh.
Yeah, like they granted like they're swerving a turret and they're driving while they're moving, which is insane. It's like we've seen stuff in reveal videos from prior years of a drive-by shot, but like we've never really seen it a whole lot in competition. So the fact that they're pulling this off, it's like I've said this in other places, but like this is a swerve and a turrets game, and we're just kind of playing in it right now.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. And I think from chat, Osis Tosis noted about the only reason I disagree with that is possibly the hanger zone, and I think that's something really important to note. Obviously, with the hanger zone being there, it can be very difficult. And having Swerve in that section of that area is very helpful. But Dave, overall thoughts? What do you think?
I think Tank can still make it happen. We got smoked by 973 in a couple practice matches. That they have always been kind of like the perennial team that I point to for simplicity, and a lot of driver practice can outperform a robot with a higher ceiling. And I think that's still true. Like if you're going to be able to get a robot on the field faster with like you get the resources just to a tank, you don't even need a turret. You know what I mean? Like if you can put 100 hours on driver practice before you get to an event, you will beat any robot with a crazy ceiling, like that has significantly less driver practice, because it's like your ceiling may only be here, but you're there. And the ceiling from the swerve turret could be way up here, but there's no way they're going to get it because that just takes so long for development. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I am, frankly, for the future, very worried about what 1690 and 254 champs are going to look like, because I know like they're already cooking, and once they just get some more time on it, it's gonna be crazy. But I don't think that there's plenty of teams out there that other than 973, like 176.
Oh yeah, Aces High for sure.
6328, 176, like the best in New England. They smoked,
Right.
they were undefeated, smoked every event, everybody that they went there. It wasn't even a question. My old team, 6328, tank, no turret, ranked 1, won the event, ranked 2, won the event. You know what I mean? They got a bunch of driver practice.
For sure.
4481, They
Oh
smoke
yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
2135. I love them. Simple robot, and they cook.
Let me ask you guys a quick
Awesome.
question. A lot of this has been focused on scoring and if they can score that way. What about from a ball acquisition standpoint, though? Can a tank drive hold up against defense and still acquire cargo as quickly as a Swerve drive can?
So I guess for me, I think that's where the difference is made. If you're going to make the argument for Swerve over tank drive, having Swerve with the ability to drive around defense, unless you're going against a Swerve defensive robot, then they kind of negate each other. But if you're a Swerve drive robot versus a tank drive defensive robot, I think that's where you really get the advantage. Being able to twist around the robot and get to cargo that you may or may otherwise not be able to because they're parking in front of you and you don't really have the maneuverability, I guess would be the word to use, for that. But Connor.
Yeah, I think that's where it's really going to start to separate between the two. I know that my driver can probably say that it's a lot easier to be able to pick up those game pieces and get out of defense and stuff like that, as he's driven both a tank drive and a Swerve drive in competition. Granted, the tank drive was like 6-7 months ago at Battlecry at an off-season event, but he's also driven Swerve at off-season events and back at Pine Tree in week 2. I think it's still very possible that a like West Coast Drive tank drive robot can still like hang out there with all the Swerve robots and for in all aspects, but like I just think the Swerve revolution is here, and we're really starting to see it pick up. I mean, we always saw the 254 was always like, hey, like West Coast Drive, like going sideways is a waste of time.
Yeah, moving sideways
even
is a waste of time.
yeah, even if that was like half a joke, but like we see them come out with the Swerve drive, and it's like this is real. This is actually happening now. So
Yeah,
That doesn't mean everybody should jump into it though, because even the poops,
exactly.
were struggling
for
with
sure.
Swerve, and
For sure.
it took us 8-9 robots before we were before Citrus was comfortable saying, let's try it.
Oh,
I even I was questioned that decision for a long time, because I think anybody who knows me knows that I like simplicity in practice.
yeah, for sure. And for if anyone's listening, if you haven't done Swerve yet and you're thinking about it, do it in the off season. Do not try it out first in a regular season event. You're probably going to shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. I've known some other teams that have done that, and it really kind of ends the season in a not so happy way for them. And I'm glad we did it in the off season, where we could at least put it into a competition at some off season events, just to kind of get a feel for it. But yeah, make sure you're practicing that before.
Okay, awesome. And just quick reference to the poll in chat: majority did vote that Swerve or West Coast Drive is not going to keep up with Swerve. So, but before we get started on our last topic, let's go ahead and bring in our producer Tyler to talk about our friends at Striker, and for those watching live, to start our giveaway from Vex Pro.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start our giveaway first. For those who are listening pre-show, Nick might have dropped the keyword ahead of time. That's all right. So, so the keyword is going to be versatility for this. Let's talk about the product first. We'll type it in chat. So we're giving away a Versa Planetary base kit. The winner can pick which one they want. So if you win, shoot First Updates Now a message either on Twitch or Discord. Let us know which one you're interested in, and we'll get that shipped out here, or Vex Pro will get that shipped out to you. So Versa Planetary is the original modular planetary gearbox developed specifically for FRC. In addition to a wide range of gear ratios, the Versa Planetary system features an extensive library of accessories, making it the most versatile option for teams. So once again, versatility, if you're interested in that. And I'm going to go right over to our next thing before I transition back to what is currently happening on screen. So let's talk about our friends. If you are watching live, you need to stick around for at least 60 seconds here. So let's give a big shout out to our friends at Striker and Striker Careers for supporting First Updates Now. Of course, their amazing support keeps us loud, live, and independent. We appreciate that, as well as your support as well, too. But hey, if you're looking for a great career internship, entry-level job, or a experienced position, addition, go check out careers.stryker.com. You can learn about all the different jobs they have everywhere. Just looked up engineering jobs, currently 405 job postings all around the world. Of course, they have the global headquarters in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but really they are all over the world, a very global company, plus options to work remote, hybrid, in person, whatever works best for you. And of course, Stryker is a big supporter of those in first. So if you want to continue your first journey with the company who will support you being in first, go check out careers.stryker.com. Now let's get back over to what's happening on screen here.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Tyler, for that. We're going to go ahead and jump into our third topic here. And this is going to be another unfortunate circumstance. I don't think we need to, I want to highlight it, but I don't think we need to talk about it to an extent because we did mention this issue last week as well. But if you haven't gotten the chance to see the Chief Delphi thread post, we did have another issue where there was Alliance robots that were denied access to the field due to being late for a timeout at the SBPLI Long Island Regional Number 2. And I know that Connor and I have voiced our opinions about this last week when we had the issue with, I believe, forgive me, the regional name is blanking me, but they've happened around and there's been some inconsistency of the rules. So I'm just going to reiterate my stance here. I think that FIRST is a program that we're here to inspire students, and by denying them field access and having 3 red robots play 0 blue robots is a wrench into that and is not inspiring students and ruining students this season. So Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, still not entirely too thrilled about all this. I know it's still like well within the rules about everything, but this is still not awesome. Um, so per what Mick Last was saying in the CD thread of the field gate close on the entire alliance, the first red bot enters the field at 8:49 in the stream. The other 2 red robots enter the field 40 seconds later. Gate closes at 8:50:19 with the FTA specifically pointing for them to be closed. You can see the blue robots going to the field far left about 8 seconds after the FTA points to the field volunteers to close it. So the Blue Alliance is like within view of the field, so that technically doesn't really mean that you or like should really like close the gate because there is still this whole open gate policy kind of thing. But man, it's just a 3-on-0, which just bites.
It's so silly.
Yeah,
It's silly. That's exactly.
It just makes no sense to me.
Well, I think the best thing about it is it's really hard to say like, oh, there's something good that came out of it because all in all, it really isn't. But what the game announcer does or what the game announcer doesn't do is that he doesn't do any commentary for the entire match, which, for those who haven't done any like official game announcing or MCing, you're trained to, say good things about each team and to be able to talk about everything that's going on in the field and, make sure everyone gets their fair share of acknowledgement during each match. But it's so hard to be able to, call a low scoring match. But in this instance, where it's like you can only talk about stuff about the Red Alliance, and now you're completely disregarding the Blue Alliance, what the game announcer did by not saying anything was probably the smartest move here, in my honest opinion. Sure. I know how hard that is for me being a game announcer. And then he explained everything that went on and why the Blue Alliance didn't play in the match after the scores were posted. Which great explanation, but just overall terrible situation. Like, come on, FIRST. Like, let's.
Yeah,
where's the inspiration? Like, come on.
Yeah, I've been debating all day on how mean I was going to be to FIRST about this, and I really just think that it you think about what we're doing. Like, why do all of us mentor? Why do the students work with this program? Like, why are we putting hundreds of hours in taking time off from work, away from our families? Like, we're literally doing this so that we can inspire, educate the next generation, so that we can do everything that we can to help these students out and educate ourselves and have a good time too, right? Like, I don't understand you you get in this position where some people, they just get a little bit of authority and it gets a hold of them, and the rules coming straight out of first let some people take advantage of that, and it's really sad. But even if you're not in that frame of mind and you're not the type of person who's going to take advantage of it, like, it still doesn't make sense to me when you're one, not enforcing the rules the same across the board, right? Like,
Exactly.
if you're going to do it and you're going to follow the rules, like, boom, zero, close the gates, right? Like, okay, then it's one thing. But like, one team walks on a little bit after and then the other team doesn't get to go on, like, you ruin. There was a rookie team there, and you know that there are seniors on some of those teams.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine that's your last event? It makes no sense. They need to do something about this, and I really hope that if volunteers are in a position like this, that they take some time to think about it and be like, okay, maybe I might get an email or a phone call, but what is the 3 minutes that I'm going to wait longer while they help, like, while the other teams get on the field? Going to change in the grand scheme of things. Like, you're going to go to bed 3 minutes later, but you're probably going to feel a whole lot better about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
wish more people would take a stand for stuff like this because it doesn't fit with the program, and it frankly, it makes me really upset that people would let it happen. And I'm really hoping that we'll see something coming from first at the high level, because it's unfair that first puts people in that position to have to make
Exactly.
the decision like that. But also, like, as adults and volunteers, maybe use some common sense and be like, okay, like, what's it going to matter? I can see the alliance walking up, like, they're going to be a couple minutes late, and like, FTC has rules for this, even, right? Aren't the FTC rules like, you get a minor penalty, and if it's egregious or you keep doing it, then, like, why is it automatically like you eliminate the whole alliance from contention, or you eliminate the team from contention of competing?
Yeah.
Goes against the program.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to tell a really, really quick story. So a long, long time ago, when I used to be a Champs MC, we used to have a meeting with Woody and Dave. I don't know if you had an opportunity to do this, but Woody used to grab all the MCs and sit them around and say, hey, you guys are close to the program. What can we do to improve the program? And one of the comments, I don't remember who it was, this was like a decade ago, brought up, hey, like, teams are getting bypassed from coming on fields, and this is costing teams, essentially, they're paying $500 to not play, essentially, because of how much a match costs, essentially. And it's crazy to me that over a decade later, this is still a topic of conversation
Yeah.
that
Yep.
comes up. And it's insane that, once again, teams are paying a lot of money. Now, should there be limitations in place? Yes, but I think what we're all saying is that the rules need to be modified to service
Correct.
what has been going on. So it just blows my
Yeah,
mind. This is
for
still
sure.
a topic of conversation.
Yep. All
You know,
right. So,
send a representative from your team or your alliance and go on the field, because they can't close the gate if you're still on the field.
Yeah, Mike. I
So
think I think Alan mentioned that they were sticking around on the Alan Gregory. Like, they did it right. Just hang out by your robot. And I know that Mike told our drive team, like, do not let them close the gates on the other team. Like, just do everything you can. And I think as members of First, you should do that for your alliance, because, you know, looking out for other people is way more important than the banner when it comes down to it.
Let me pose a
100% agree.
quick question to all of you, and looking for a semi-quick response. We just said, like, I guess what teams should try to do, right? But if you were in First shoes, what is the immediate change they need to make?
okay. So I guess for me is it just the one. I think the window needs to be expanded of when the timeout can be called, because I think that was the first issue that we've talked about previously, and make that more clear, because it's not very clear and it's actually quite complicated for teams that have never been in that position before. And second of all, I think it just needs to allow for more leniency, and I'll kind of leave it at that. But Dave, will go to you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a rookie team that was on there. Like, you know how many rules there are in this game? Like, there's no way that everybody is going to be able to understand, like, like, when you get into limbs, you're so excited, there's so much happening, and, like, you're under crunch time. And I think it just needs to be more directed towards, like, a common sense approach to it, and less about, just like a hypercritical and analyzation of it. So I hope we see something that like I mentioned earlier, doesn't put volunteers in the position where they need to have those awkward moments for themselves. And I hope it happens quick, because I would hate to have to wait the whole year,
Yep.
because it's only going to happen again.
Exactly.
It's a
Connor.
lot of money.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I agree with both you, Nick, and Dave. But just kind of adding on to that for Dave, where you said that is a rookie team, but like for a lot of teams haven't competed since 2019, and even at this point, we're still
A
we're
good
still
amount of
getting
them are rookies, even
yeah,
if they're not, even if
exactly.
they don't have a
we
rookie number.
went to our first event, and Porv's gonna get mad at me, but he's like, "Oh," I was like, "We're gonna go program the radio." He's like, "I programmed it back at the shop." I was like, "No, you got to do it here." That's just like
Right.
there's so you lose stuff when you're not doing it again and again,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
and
like we
you're
we were
totally right.
one of the
Out of
fortunate teams
practice.
to compete in 2020. So like some of our students have experience, but like all the students on our team weren't around in the 2019 season. So it's almost kind of like we're like 166, like we're a 27-year-old team, but we're basically a bunch of experienced mentors with a bunch of greenhorns essentially for
Right.
students. Everyone is experiencing this kind of stuff, not just rookies. I mean, rookies they have to learn a whole lot more because most teams have experienced mentors who have been through multiple build seasons and competition seasons, but overall it's just it hurts everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, let's go ahead and bring Tyler back on to draw for that giveaway from Vex Pro.
Yeah, we'll go ahead once again. If you do win, please shoot me a message and let me know which Versaplanetary kit you want for our friends at Vex Pro once again. And let's draw for that winner. It's going to be... Oh, I'm just gonna read out the letters. I don't know how to pronounce it. AETAL. ATAL, we'll say. Congratulations. Lots of rigged emotes in chat for that. And thanks a lot to Vex Pro for an awesome giveaway. It was a pretty sweet giveaway tonight for both Vex Pro and AnyMark earlier. So really appreciate suppliers stepping up and wanted to engage in the community that way. And more giveaways to come in future streams as well.
Awesome. Thanks again, Vex Pro, for providing that. So just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody for sticking around, and thanks for tuning in to FRC Roundup. Special thanks to all those who clicked that follow button or stepped up to help fund with a Twitch subscription or donation this stream. Your support really helps us to continue to make great content. Don't forget you can watch FRC Roundup archived at youtube.com/first updates now, and that will be uploaded tonight as it has been the past 2 weeks. And watch live Mondays after FRC Recap during the competition season. Thanks again, Dave, for coming on today. And on behalf of our producer, Tyler Olds, my co host, Connor, and all of our fun correspondents, I'm Nick Jr., and thanks for watching. And good luck to all teams competing in week 5. See you next week, same day, same time, where we take a look at what is going on each week on FRC Roundup. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks to Stryker Careers for their support in this video. Stryker's commitment to medical device technology innovation has made it a top career destination for those in FIRST. FIRST alumni and mentors are given top priority in their internship and career applications. Come create the next medical innovation that saves lives at careers.stryker.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.